Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to the episode 18 of Mahabharata Reading Challenge. And like always, we are going to start with the prayers. Firstly, for Hanumanji. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nijman Mukru Sudhari Barnau Raghuvar Bimal Jasu Jo Dayaku Fal Chari बुद्धहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस बेकार. Knowing that this mind of mine has less intelligence, I remember the son of wind, who, granting me strength, wisdom, and all kinds of knowledge, removes all my sufferings and shortcomings. निश्चय प्रेम प्रतीत ते विनय करे सन्मान, तेहि के कारज सकल शुभ सिद्ध करे हनुमान. जय हनुमान संत हितकारी, सुन लीजिए प्रभु अर्ज हमारी. जन के काज विलम्ब न कीजिए, आतुर दोर महासुख दीजिए. आंखें देखे मौन मुख कहा सहा कहा नहीं जाए, लेख विधाता का लिखा कौन किसे समझाए, कौन किसे समझाए. वचन दिया सोचा नहीं, होगा क्या परिणाम, सोच समझकर कीजिए जीवन में हर काम. जीवन को समझा रहा जिया हुआ इतिहास, जब तक तन में श्वास है तब तक मन में आस, तब तक मन में आस. आस कह रही श्वास से धीरज धरना सीख, मांगे बिन मोती मिले, मांगे मिले न भीख, मांगे मिले न भीख. आस कह रही श्वास से धीरज धरना सीख, मांगे बिन मोती मिले, मांगे मिले न भीख, मांगे मिले न भीख. है कथा संग्राम की, विश्व के कल्याण की, धर्म अधर्म आदि अनंत, सत्य असत्य कलेश कलंक. स्वार्थ की कथा परमार्थ की, शक्ति है भक्ति है, जन्मों की मुक्ति है, जीवन का ये संपूर्ण सार है. युग युग से कण कण में, सृष्टि के दर्पण में, वेदों की कथा अपार है. धर्मों की गाथा है, देवों की भाषा है, सदियों के इतिहास का प्रमाण है. कृष्णा की महिमा है, गीता की गरिमा है, ग्रंथों का ग्रंथ ये महान है. महाभारत 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 महाभारत. सुख करता दुख हरता, वार्ता विघ्नाची हो वार्ता विघ्नाची. नुरवी पूर्वी प्रेम कृपाया जायाची, सर्वांगी सुंदर उदिशेंदुराची हो उदिशेंदुराची. कांठी जाल के माल मुक्ता फलहाची, जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति, जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति. दर्शन मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ति, जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति हो श्री मंगल मूर्ति. दर्शन मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ति, जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति. Think him as Vishnu while taking medicines, as Janardhan while eating food, as Padmanabha while in bed, as Prajapati at the time of marriage, as Chakrathara while engaged in war, as Trivikrama while on travel, as Narayana on deathbed, as Sridhara while meeting with the beloved, as Govinda while tossing with bad dreams, as Madhusudana while in trouble, as Narsimha while in forest, as Jalasayana while forest fire is ravaging, as Varaha while struggling in water, as Raghunandana while lost in a mountain, as Vamana while on the move, and as Madhava while doing everything. यह तो प्रेम की बात है उदो, बंदगी तेरे बस की नहीं है. यहाँ सर दे के होते हैं सौदे, आशिकी इतनी सस्ती नहीं है. प्रेम वालों ने कब वक्त पूछा, उनकी पूजा में सुन ले उदो. यहाँ दम दम में होती है पूजा, सर झुकाने की फुर्सत नहीं है. जो असल में है मस्ती में डूबे, उन्हें क्या परवाह जिंदगी की. जो उतरती है चढ़ती है मस्ती, वो हकीकत में मस्ती नहीं है. जिसकी नज़रों में शाम प्यारे, वो तो रहते हैं जग से न्यारे. जिसकी नज़रों में मोहन समाए, वो नज़रें फिर तरसती नहीं है. कर्पूर गौरम करुणा अवतारम, संसार सारम भुजगेंद्रहारम, सदा वसंतम हृदयारविंदे, भवम भवानी सहितम नमामि. I bow to Bhavani as well as to Lord Shiva, who is white as camphor, who is compassion incarnate, who is the essence of the world, who wears a garland of large snake, and who always dwells in the lotus-like hearts of his devotee. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे। जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ, अपने सुख दुख को हे ठाकुर मैं रो रो के तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ। जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ, तुम मेरे हो मैं तेरा हूँ, बस और नहीं कुछ याद मुझे, ये ध्यान सदा मेरे मन में रहे, ये विनय सुनाने आया हूँ। जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ, अपने सुख दुख को हे ठाकुर मैं रो रो के तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ। फूलों में तुम्हारी खुशबू है, पत्तों में तुम्हारी हस्ती है, पर फूल नहीं है पास मेरे, बस दो नयन चढ़ाने आया हूँ। जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ, अपने सुख दुख को हे ठाकुर मैं रो रो के तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ। तुम मेरे प्यारे सावरिया, मेरा तुमसे हमेशा नाता है, नहीं और मेरी कोई सुनता है, मैं तुम्हें सुनाने आया हूँ। जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ, अपने सुख दुख को हे ठाकुर मैं रो रो कर तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ। मंगल मूर्ति मारुति नंदन, सकल अमंगल मूल निकंदन, पवन तनय संतन हितकारी, हृदय विराजित अवध बिहारी। जय 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 बजरंग बली, महावीर हनुमान गोसाई। मंगल मूर्ति मारुति नंदन, सकल अमंगल मूल निकंदन, पवन तनय संतन हितकारी, हृदय विराजित अवध बिहारी। जय 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 बजरंग बली, महावीर हनुमान गोसाई। नटखट बंसी वाले गोकुल के राजा, मेरी अखियाँ तरस गई अब तो आजा आजा। नटखट बंसी वाले गोकुल के राजा, मेरी अखियाँ तरस गई अब तो आजा। गोपी जन रास रास अभिलाषी, कौरव कालिंग कंस विनाशी, हिमकार बाणुक सा प्रकाशी, सर्व बहुत ही वस व्याखी। बोलो जय कन्हैया की। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं, तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं, तुम बीर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं, बीर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं, माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं, माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं, गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं, गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं। नाम जपते चलो काम करते चलो, हर समय कृष्ण का ध्यान करते चलो। नाम जपते चलो काम करते चलो, हर समय कृष्ण का ध्यान करते चलो। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। जय 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 गिरिवर राज किशोरी, जय महिष मुख चंद चकोरी, जय गजपदन खड़ानन माता, जगत जाननी दामिनी दुति गाता। देवी पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे, सुर नर मुन सब होई सुखारे। मोर मनोरथ जानहु नीके, बसहु सदा उरपुर सभी के। कीन्हेउ प्रगट न करन कारण तेहि, अस कही चरण गए बेदही। जय गजबदन षडानन माता, जगत जाननी दामिनी दुति गाता। बिनय प्रेम बसहु भई भवानी, खसी माल मूरत मुस्कानी। सादर सिए प्रसाद सुर धरेहु, बोली गौरी हर्षु हिये भरेहु। सुन सिए सत्य असीस हमारी, पूजहि मन कामना तुम्हारी। नारद बचन सदा सुचि साचा, सो बरहु मिली जहीं मनुराचा। जय बदन षडानन माता, जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता। नहीं तब आदि मध्य अवसाना, अमित प्रभाव वेद नहीं जाना। भव भव विभव पराभव कारिणी, विश्व में मोहिनी स्वाबस बिहारिणी। पति देवता स्तुति महु, मात प्रथम तव रेख। महिमा अमित न सकहि कही, सहस शारदा शेष। सोवत तोहि सुलभ फलचारी, बरदायनी पुरारी प्यारी। मोर मनोरथ जानहु नीके, बसहु सदा उरपुर सभी के। किन्हु प्रगट न कारण तेहि, आस कही चरण गहे बेदही। जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी, जय महेश मुख चंद चकोरी। जय बदन षडानन माता, जगत जननी दामिनी दुत गाता। I will read it once more because I often make many mistakes while reading this. जय 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 गिरिवर राज किशोरी, जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी। जय गजबदन षडानन माता, जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता। देवी पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे, सुर नर मुन सब सिहि होई सुखारे। मोर मनोरथ जानहु नीके, बसहु सदा उरपुर सभी के। कीन्हु प्रगट न कारण तेहि, अस कही चरण गही बेदही। जय गजबदन षडानन माता, जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता। बिनय प्रेम बस भई भवानी, खसी माल मूरत मुस्कानी। सादर सिए प्रसाद सर धरेहु, बोली गौरी हर्ष हियो भरेहु। सुन सिए सत्य असीस हमारी, पूजहि मन कामना तुम्हारी। नारद बचन सदा सुचि साचा, सो बरु मिलहि जाहि मनुराचा। जय गजबदन षडानन माता, जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता। नहीं तब आदि मध्य अवसाना, अमित प्रभाव वेद नहीं जाना। भव भव विभव पराभव कारिणी, विश्व विमोहिनी स्वबस बिहारिणी। पति देवता स्तुति महु, मात प्रथम तव रेखा। महिमा अमित न सकहि कही, सहज शारदा शेष। सोवत तोहि सुलभ फलचारी, बरदायिनी पुरारी प्यारी। मोर मनोरथ जानहु नीके, बसहु सदा उरपुर सभी के। कीन्हु प्रगट न कारण तेहि, अस कही चरण गहे बेदही। जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी, जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी। जय गजबदन षडानन माता, जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता। जननी में रामदूत हनुमान, जननी में रामदूत हनुमान। चरण कमल में शत शत वंदन, कर दो माँ कल्याण। मिला है अवसर आज महान, जननी में रामदूत हनुमान। चमके कोटि सूर्य सम रघुवर, शीत चंद्र से वाणी मधुकर। करके रावण हरण तुम्हारा, किया मृत्यु आभान। सत्य वचन कहता माँ सीता, हर पल प्रभु को तुमरी चिंता। आशु नयन से झरत निरंतन, व्याकुल है श्री राम। जननी में रामदूत हनुमान, जननी में रामदूत हनुमान। सत्य वचन कहता माँ सीता, हर पल प्रभु को तुमरी चिंता। आशु नयन से झरत निरंतन, व्याकुल है श्री राम। माघ मकरगत रवि जब होई, तीरथ पतहि आव सब कोई। देव धनुज किन्नर नर श्रेणी, सादर मझहि सकल त्रिवेणी। as we all are knowing that Mahakumbh is going on, and this is one of the very famous shlok from Ramcharitramanas, and I heard it in yesterday's katha by Murari Bapu, which is happening in Mahakumbh, Prayagraj. माघ मकरगत रवि जब होई, तीरथ पतहि आव सब कोई, देव दनुज किन्नर नरश्रेणी, सादर मझई सकल त्रिवेणी। माघ में जब सूर्य मकर राशि पर जाते हैं, तब सब लोग तीर्थराज प्रयाग को आते हैं। देवता, दैत्य, किन्नर और मनुष्य के समूह सब आदर पूर्वक त्रिवेणी में स्नान करते हैं। वर्णा नाम अर्थ संगम, रास नाम चंद समापी, मंगलानम चा कर्तारौ, वंदे वाणी विनायको। तुलसीदास जी विनय और वंदना करते हैं, हे अक्षरों को बनाने वाली, उनके अर्थों को बनाने वाली और समझाने वाली, इन अक्षरों से जो 9 रस प्रदान होते हैं, उनको बनाने वाले, छंदों को बनाने वाले, जिनकी कृपा और आशीर्वाद के बिना हमारी इस अपार रचना सफल नहीं हो पाएगी, माता सरस्वती और श्री गणेश प्रभु, मैं आप दोनों को प्रणाम और वंदना करती हूँ। Today is the day 18, and yesterday also I heard one more shlok in day 2 of Ramcharitmanas in Mahakumbh, and it was Bhaya Kubhay Anak Alas Hu, नाम जपत मंगल दिसी दसहु, सुमिरो सुमिरो सो नाम राम गुण गाथा, करहु नाई रघुनाथई माथा। अच्छे भाव प्रेम से, बुरे भाव बैर से, क्रोध से, आलस्य से, किसी तरह से भी नाम जपने से 10 दिशाओं में कल्याण होता है। उसी राम नाम का स्मरण करके और रघुनाथ को मस्तक नवाकर मैं राम के गुणों का वर्णन करता हूँ। Here we are talking about, here they have talked about here they are basically stressing on the fact that if we are chanting name of Ram, Hanuman, Krishna, Shiv, Durga Ma, anyone whom you have faith in, that name will only that name can only help you in cleansing your mind, cleansing your heart, and opening so many directions that when someone feels lost, this name can uplift us in that situation and can open many different directions for us, and those beautiful directions. And they are stressing that no matter how your intention is to take name, but just take name of your God. Of course, one should take name with love, devotion, but sometimes we know that Kansa was always remembering Krishna. He wanted to kill him. That is why he was having this anger, hatred towards Krishna. But he was constantly remembering Krishna. Okay, so today there is one very beautiful song regarding to the fight or to the war, to removing the inner conflicts. This is आरंभ है प्रचंड, बोलो मस्तकों के झुंड, आज जंग की घड़ी की तुम गुहार दो, आन बान शान या कि जान का हो दान, आज एक धनुष के बाण पे उतार दो, मन करे सो प्राण दे, जो मन करे सो प्राण ले, वही तो एक सर्वशक्तिमान है। विश्व की पुकार है, ये भागवत का सार है कि युद्ध ही तो वीर का प्रमाण है। कौरवों की भीड़ हो या पांडवों की नीड़ हो, जो लड़ सका है वही तो महान है। जीत की हवस नहीं, किसी पे कोई बस नहीं, क्या जिंदगी है ठोकरों पर मार दो। मौत वन अंत है नहीं, तो मौत से भी क्यों डरे, ये जाके आसमान में दहाड़ दो। वो दया का भाव या कि शौर्य का चुनाव, या कि हार को वो घाव, तुम ये सोच लो। या कि पूरे भाल पर जला रहे वे जय का लाल, लाल ये गुलाल, तुम ये सोच लो। रंग केसरी हो या मृदंग केसरी हो, या कि केसरी हो लाल, तुम ये सोच लो। जिस कवि की कल्पना में जिंदगी हो प्रेम गीत, उस कवि को आज तुम नकार दो। भीगती नसों में आज, फूलती रगों में आज, आग की लपट तुम बुखार दो। आरंभ है प्रचंड बोल, मस्तकों के झुंड, आज जंग की घड़ी की तुम गुहार दो। आन बान शान या कि जान का हो दान, आज एक धनुष के बाण पे उतार दो। मन करे सो प्राण दे, जो मन करे सो प्राण ले, वही तो एक सर्वशक्तिमान है। विश्व की पुकार है, ये भागवत का सार है कि युद्ध ही तो वीर का प्रमाण है। कौरवों की भीड़ हो या पांडवों का नीर हो, जो लड़ सका है वही तो महान है। जीत की हवस नहीं, किसी पे कोई बस नहीं, क्या जिंदगी है ठोकरों पर मार दो। मौत अंत है नहीं, तो मौत से भी क्यों डरे, ये जाके आसमान में दहाड़ दो। आरंभ है प्रचंड बोल, मस्तकों के झुंड, आज जंग की घड़ी की तुम गुहार दो। आन बान शान या कि जान का हो दान, आज एक धनुष के बाण पे उतार दो। Okay friends, so today we are going to read about the death of Karna, Duryodhan, the Pandavas reproached Ashwatthama from 91 until 94 chapters. Okay, my dear friends. So today we are going to read about the death of Karna. When Drona died, the prince of Kaurava army installed Karna as generalissimo. Karna stood up in his gorgeous war chariot driven by Salya. The dauntless confidence of his bearing and his great renown as a warrior heartened the Kauravas. The battle again began. Readers of the star were consulted, and the Pandavas chose the propitious hour for grim battle. Okay, so see here they are telling about the they are telling about the astrologers were consulted and Pandavas choose the propitious hour for the grim battle. Arjuna led the attack on Karna, supported by Bhimsena immediately behind his chariot. So Arjuna led the attack on Karna, supported by Bhimsena. Dushasan made a concentrated attack on Bhima and sent a shower of arrows at him. Bhima chuckled and said to himself, I have this wretch now safe in my hands. I shall today redeem my promise to Draupadi. Too long has my oath waited for performance. So, as we remember that Bhima had made an oath to himself that he will chuckle Dushasana. and also he made promise to Draupadi. So he is telling that I have this wretch now safe in my hands, and I shall today redeem my promise to Draupadi. Too long has my oath waited for performance. So, like 13 years of the exile. As Bhima, as Bhima thus bethought himself of what Dushasan had done to Draupadi, the anger within him blazed up uncontrollably, and throwing down all his weapons, he jumped from his chariot and leaped upon Dushasan like a tiger on its prey, hurled him down and broke his limbs. Wicked beast, is this the wretched hand that held Draupadi by the hair? Here I tear out the root from your body. If there be any here wishing to help you, let him come forward and try. Glaring hatefully at Duryodhan as he roared this challenge, Bhimsena tore fire and made for Arjun, like a serpent with its flaming double tongue out. Then Krishna, Arjun's charioteer, at the nick of time pressed the vehicle down 5 fingers deep in the mud so that the serpent shaft just missed Partha's head but struck off his helmet. Arjuna was red with shame and anger, and he fixed a dart on his bow to make an end of Karna. And Karna's fated hour was come. And as been foretold, the left wheel of his chariot suddenly sank in the bloody mire. He jumped down on the ground to lift the wheel up from the mud. Wait a minute, he cried. My chariot has sunk in the ground. Great warrior as you are, and knowing Dharma as you do, you would certainly not take unfair advantage of this accident. I shall presently set my car right and give you all the battle you want. Arjuna hesitated. Karna was now somewhat perturbed on account of the mishap. He remembered the curse that had been pronounced on him and again appealed to Arjun's sense of honor. Krishna intervened. Hark, Karna, he exclaimed, it is well that you too remember that there are things like fair play and chivalry. Now that you are in difficulty, you remember them indeed. But when you and Duryodhan and Dushasan and Shakuni dragged Draupadi to the hall of assembly and insulted her, how was it you forgot them utterly? You helped to inveigle Dharamputra, who was fond of play but was unskilled at it, to gamble, and you cheated him. Where had your fair play hidden itself then? Was it fair play to refuse to give Yudhishthir his kingdom when, according to the pledge, the 12 years of forest life and the 13th year incognito were duly completed? What had happened to Dharma you appeal for now? You conspired with the wicked man who sought to poison and kill Bhima. You acquiesced in the plot to burn the Pandavas alive when sleeping in the palace of wax into which they had been lured. What had happened to Dharma all that time? What did Dharma tell you when violent hands were laid on Draupadi and you were looking on, enjoying the sight? Did you not then mock at her, saying, your husbands have left you unprotected, go and marry another husband? The tongue that was not ashamed to utter those words now talks of chivalry. Chivalry indeed, when a mob of you surrounded the young Abhimanyu and shamelessly slew him. Was that chivalry? Wicked man, do not talk now of chivalry and fair play. For you have never honored them. So here Krishna is telling Karna that what you all did until now, and when you are in the middle of an unfavorable situation, now you are preaching about dharma, but all you did was injustice, and all you did was that you were wicked. You were accompanying a big wicked person like Duryodhan, and you were the part of all the plans. When Krishna was denouncing him in this manner in order to urge Arjuna to prompt action, Karna bent his head in shame and uttered not a word. Karna silently ascended the chariot, leaving the wheels still stuck in the mud, and took his bow and sent an arrow at Arjun with an unerring aim and such power that it stunned him for a moment. Karna utilized the respite one to jump down again and hurriedly try to lift the chariot wheel up. But the curse was too strong for him, and fortune had deserted the great warrior. The wheel would not budge, though he strove with all his great strength. Then he tried to recall the mantras of mighty astras he had learned from Parshurama, but his memory failed in the hour of his need, even as Parshurama had foretold. Waste no more time, Arjuna cried. Waste no more time, Arjuna, cried Madhava. Send your shaft and slay your wicked enemy. Arjun's mind was wavering. His hands hesitated to do what was not chivalrous. But when Krishna said this, the poet says Arjun accepted this command of the Lord and sent an arrow which cut and severed the head of the Radheya. The poet had not the heart to impute this act to Arjun, who was the embodiment of nobility. It was the Lord Krishna that incited Arjuna to kill Karna when he was vainly trying to raise his chariot out of the mud in which it had stuck. According to the code of honor and laws of war prevailing then, it was a wholly wrong. Who could bear the responsibility for breaches of dharma except the Lord Himself? The lesson is that it is vanity to hope through the physical violence and war to put down wrong. The battle for right conducted through physical force leads to numerous wrongs, and in the net result, adharma increases. The lesson is that it is vanity to hope through physical violence and war to put down wrong. The battle for right conducted through physical forces leads to numerous wrong, and the net result, the adharma increases. Duryodhan. When Duryodhan beheld Karna's death, his grief knew no bounds. Kripacharya was deeply moved by Duryodhan's anguish of heart and said, moved by ambition and greed, we place too great a burden on friends. They have uncomplainingly borne it and laid down their lives on the battlefield and attained the happy regions above. There is but one course left to you, to make peace with the Pandavas. Do not, O king, any longer continue this ruinous fight. Now, when after Karna's death, Kripacharya was deeply moved. Kripacharya now made him understand that, moved by ambition and greed, we place too great a burden on friends. They have uncomplainingly borne it and laid down their lives on the battlefield and attained the happy regions above. This is but one course left to you. O make peace with Pandavas. Do not, O king, any longer continue this ruinous fight. Even at the moment of deep despair, Duryodhan did not relish this counsel. Perhaps there was a time for that, but it is long past. What talk can therefore be of peace between the Pandavas and us, with all this inexpiable blood between us, the blood of our dearest and theirs? If I surrender in order to escape death, how can I escape the contempt of the world? What happiness can I hope to have a life so ignobly saved? And what joy can I hope to find in sovereignty secured by peace after my brothers and relatives have all been slain? These words of Duryodhan were lustily cheered by the others. They supported his stand and they chose Salya and gave him the supreme command from them on. Salya was mighty of limb and as brave as any of the warriors who had been killed. The army was arrayed under his leadership and the battle raged fiercely. On the side of Pandavas, Yudhishthir now led the attack personally against Salya. It astonished everyone to see how the man who was till then the very incarnation of gentleness so furiously. Fought so furiously. The battle was equal for a long time when Yudhishthir hurled at Salya his spear that went straight and struck him like the great flagstaff at the end of a festive function. Salya's body lay lifeless on the field, crimson with blood. When Salya, the last of the great general, fell dead, the Kaurava army lost all hope. The surviving sons of Dhritarashtra, however, joined together and attacked Bhima from all sides. He slew them all. The son of Vayu had nourished his burning anger for 13 years from the time Draupadi was insulted in the hall of assembly. He said to himself, "Now I have not lived in vain, but Duryodhan still lives," and smiled grimly. Shakuni led the attack on Sahdeva's division. After a while, Sahdeva discharged a sharp-edged sword arrow, saying, "Fool, here is a reward for your great sin." It went straight and cut through Shakuni's neck like a sword, and the head, which was at the root of all the wicked deeds of Kauravas, rolled on the ground. Left leaderless, the wreck of the broken army scattered and fled in all directions, pursued and slaughtered to a man by the exulting victors. Thus utterly was destroyed thine army of 11 Akshauhinis. Akshau, Akshauhinis. Akshauhinis. O Bharata, Krishna is telling Krishna. So Krishna is calling Arjuna with several names like O Bharata, O Dhananjay, O Parth, O Arjuna. Thus utterly was destroyed thine army of 11 Akshauhinis, O Bharata, out of the thousands of kings who espoused thy cause in their pride and might. Only Duryodhan could be seen on the battlefield, fainting and sore wounded, said Sanjaya. So these were the words of Sanjaya describing the debacle to blind king. After doing in vain all he could to rally his defeated army, Duryodhan, left almost alone, took up his mace and walked towards a pool of water. His whole frame was burning like a fire, and water attracted him. The wise Vidura knew what would happen, and he told us, he said to himself as he entered the water, "Oh, what avail is the wisdom that comes too late? What has been done must produce its result, and that has to be suffered. What has been done must produce its result, that has to be suffered." That is the law. Yudhishthir and his brother arrived there in relentless pursuit of their great enemy. Duryodhan, exclaimed Yudhishthir, after destroying family and tribe, would you yourself escape death by concealing yourself in this pond? So Yudhishthir came along and he's saying that after destroying families and tribe, would you yourself escape death by concealing yourself in this pond? Where is your pride now? Have you no shame? Come up and fight, a Kshatriya by birth. Do you shrink battle and death? Stung to the quick, stung to Stung to the quick by these words, Duryodhan replied with dignity, I have not come here, Dharmaputra, a fugitive for my life. It was not fear that brought me here. I stepped into the water to cool the fire that is raging within me. I neither fear death nor wish to live. But why should I fight? The earth has now nothing left that I came to fight for. All those who stood by me have been slain. My desire for kingdom is gone. I leave the world to you without a rival. Enjoy it in undisputed sovereignty. Yudhishthir replied, now that is really generous, especially after you said you would not allow us even a needle point of land. When we begged for peace and entreated you to give us a portion, you spurned our proposal. Now you say we may take it all. It is not for kingdom or land that we fight. Must I recount all your sins, the wrongs you did us, and the outrage you perpetrated on Draupadi cannot be expiated except with your life. Sanjaya, who related the events to the blind old king, here said, when your son Duryodhan heard these harsh and cruel words spoken by Dharmaputra, he at once rose from the water, mace in hand. Stepping out of the pool, the unfortunate Duryodhan said, come one by one, all of you, for I am single. Can you five? You five will surely not join together and attack me, who am alone and without armor, weary and wounded all over. Yudhishthir replied sharply, if indeed it be wrong for many to join together and attack a single person, pray tell us how Abhimanyu was attacked and killed. Did you not consent to many combining and attacking that boy standing all alone amidst your crowd? Yes, when men face misfortune, they see and preach dharma and chivalry to others. This is very deep. When men face misfortune, they see and preach dharma and chivalry to others. Wear your coat of armor, choose any of us you like and fight. Die and go to Swarg or win and be king. Accordingly, the combat began between Bhima and Duryodhan. So Duryodhan chose Bhima. Sparks of the fire flew when their maces clashed. Duryodhan and Bhima were equal in strength and skill, and the battle raged long, and the issue hung doubtful. Those who stood watching were debating as to whom would win. Krishna said to Arjuna that Bhima would redeem the oath he swore in the hall of assembly and smash Duryodhan's thigh. Bhima heard this, and at that moment the memory of the great outrage came vividly to his mind. He leaped like a lion and came down with his mace on Duryodhan's thigh and broke them, and Duryodhan fell heavily on the ground, wounded to death. Bhima jumped on the prostrate body of his enemy, stamped on his head with his heavy foot, and danced a terrible dance. Seize Bhima, cried Dharamraja. You have paid off the debt. Duryodhan is a prince and a cousin. It is not right to put your foot on his head, said Krishna. Soon the wicked man's soul will depart from the body. Son of Pandu, Duryodhan and his friends have been slain. Why linger here? Onto your chariots. When Krishna said this, the face of the fallen Duryodhan glowed like a blazing fire with anger and hatred. Turning his eyes toward Krishna, he said, by base tricks you contrived the death of warriors who fought bravely according to the laws of war. You could not have dreamt of a victory in a fair fight with Karna or Bhishma or Drona. Have you not a spark of shame left? So Duryodhan here started blaming Krishna the for that he was blaming that we have fought bravely according to the laws of war, but everything which was done to us was unlawful. Even dying, Duryodhan felt no regret that all that he had done. Duryodhan said Krishna, Duryodhan said Krishna, vainly do you accuse others, vainly do you accuse others. Greed and pride of power led you to unnumbered wicked deeds, and you are reaping as you sowed. Wretch, replied Duryodhan, living I was a great prince, generous friend, and a terrible foe. All human joys, such joys as king wish for in vain, and even gods do not despise, have been mine in their fullness. A warrior's death in the fitting crown of such a life. Dying, I go triumphantly to Swarg to join my friends and my brothers who have gone there already and are waiting to welcome me. You remain here below, your objects defeated, and yourselves the object of contempt of all Kshatriyas. I do not mind Bhima putting his foot on my head as I lie helpless on the ground with legs broken. What care I? In a few minutes more will not feel the crows and vultures settle on my head. In a few minutes more will not the feet of crows and vultures settle on my head. When Duryodhan said this, the flowers were showered down from the heavens by the gods. Inordinate desire took Duryodhan into the wrong path, whence ensued anger and numerous breaches of dharma. But no one could question the unconquerable spirit of Dhritarashtra's sons. But no one could question the unconquerable spirit of Dhritarashtra's sons. The Pandavas reproached. When the war was nearing its end, Balrama arrived at Kurukshetra after completing his tour of holy places. So as we know that there were two people who were neutral in the war. One was Balrama and there was another person also. So Balrama took the tour of holy places and he arrived now. He came just when Bhima and Duryodhan were engaged in their last mortal combat. He saw Bhima aiming the deadly blow which broke Duryodhan's thigh, and his anger flamed up at this great breach of the rules of single combat. Fie upon you all! Would any Kshatriya hit below the navel? This Bhima has offended the law most disgracefully, he exclaimed, and impatiently going up to his brother Krishna shouted, You can look on and tolerate all this, but I cannot bear to see such unclean fighting. So Balrama is now telling to Krishna that you can look on and tolerate all this, but I cannot bear to see such unclean fighting. Saying this, he advanced towards the offending Bhima with upraised plow. The plow was Balrama's weapon on supreme occasion, as the discus was Krishna's. As the disc was Krishna's. Krishna was alarmed when he saw his elder brother advancing in a passion towards Bhima. He rushed forward and intercepting him, said, "The Pandavas are our friends and closest relations. They have been the victims of insufferable wrongs at the hands of Duryodhana." When Draupadi was insulted in the assembly hall, Bhima vowed, "I will one day in the battle break the two thighs of Duryodhana with this mace and kill him." He proclaimed this solemn oath at the time, and everyone has known it. It is the duty of Kshatriya to fulfill the vow he has solemnly taken. Do not let your anger mislead you, and do not be unjust to the innocent Pandavas. Before condemning Bhima, take into account all the wrongs that Kauravas have done to the Pandavas. Nothing but error can result if one proceeds to judge conduct without taking into account the chain of events leading up to it. You cannot snatch a particular act out of its context and proceed to give judgment on it alone without gross injustice. The era of Kali has arrived when the laws of a previous age cannot apply. It was not wrong for Bhima to strike below the navel an enemy who had wickedly contrived against his life on many occasions. It was because of Duryodhana's foul instigation that Karna sent a shaft from behind and broke Abhimanyu's bowstring when he was defeating himself against heavy odds. It was because of Duryodhana's foul instigation that Karna sent a shaft from behind and broke Abhimanyu's bowstring when he was defending himself against heavy odds. Okay. Arjun's young son was attacked by numerous warriors who surrounded him when he stood all by himself in the field, deprived of bow and chariot, and in a most cowardly manner killed him. Duryodhana thought evil and practiced deception from the time of birth and brought about the destruction of his people. There is no sin in Bhima killing this man. Bhima bore the wrong stern and kept his wrath within himself for 13 long years. Duryodhana knew well that Bhima had sworn to break his thighs and kill them. When he challenged the aggrieved Pandavas to battle, he knew very well that he invited Bhima to make good his oath. How can you think that it was wrong for Bhima to do this? Krishna's word did not change Balrama's opinion, but his anger subsided. Duryodhana will attain the happy region reserved for the brave. Bhima's fame has been tarnished for all the time. It will be said among men that the son of Pandu broke the laws of war in attacking Duryodhana. It will remain forever a great blot on his good name. I hate to stay here any longer. So saying, the indignant Balrama immediately left for Dwarka. Yudhishthir, why this strange silence? Asked Krishna. Oh Madhava, it hurts me to see Bhima leap on cousin Duryodhana's mortally wounded body and trample on his head. I see the end of the glory of our race. We were wronged by Kauravas. I know the full measures of grief and anger in Vrikodara's heart, and don't wish to blame him beyond reason. We have killed Duryodhan, who was afflicted by uncontained greed and poverty of understanding. What serves it now to debate the ethics of it nicely, to weigh the propriety of a much wrongs men's revenges? Yudhishthir was greatly oppressed in mind. When men transgress the law, extenuations and excuses are of no avail in giving mental satisfaction. Arjuna, of penetrating intellect, was silent. He did not show approvals of Bhima's act, nor did he say anything by the way of detraction. The rest of the people who were there were, however, loud in condemnation of Duryodhan and were reminding one another of all his misdeeds and error. Krishna turned towards them and said, Warrior, Warriors, it is not proper that we go on speaking against an enemy who has been defeated and is lying mortally wounded. We should not speak ill of a dying man. He was stupid and brought about his own end. He fell into the company of bad men and was ruined. Let us go. Duryodhan, who was stretched on the ground in intense agony when he heard Krishna say this, went into a paroxysm of rage. He half raised himself on his arm in spite of excruciating pain and exclaimed, Wretch, son of slave, was not your father Vasudeva Kansa's slave? Now he's telling something to Krishna. You have no business to sit or move with Prince. You speak like a shameless wretch. I saw you instigate Bhima to aim his blow at my thighs. Do you think I did not see you making as though casually talking to Arjuna, pointing to your thigh, but really indicating to Bhima that he should strike me on thighs, disregarding the laws of single combat? Till then it had been equal battle. You have neither pity nor shame. Did you not contrive the death of grandsire Bhishma through stratagem? You advised Shikandin to be placed in front when attacking Bhishma, knowing that the grandsire would scorn to fight a woman and would let himself be mortally wounded without resistance. You brought about the end of Dronacharya through making Dharmputra utter a falsehood. You were the father of that deadly lie that issued from Yudhishthir's mouth and made Dronacharya throw his bow away. Did you not look on without protest and rejoice when that wretch Drishtadumna attacked and killed the Acharya who had stopped fighting, throwing away his weapons and settled down in yoga posture for meditation on the Supreme? Was it not you who wickedly contrived to make Karna hurl the fatal spear at Ghatotkacha instead of reserving it for Arjun, as he had all along resolved to do? O great sinner, surely it was you who instigated Satyaki to butcher Bhuri Sarvas when his right arm had been wholly cut off, and he stopped fighting and spread his arrow for a great seat for holy meditation. It was you who brought about the death of Karna by inducing Arjun to attack him in a cowardly manner when he was engaged in lifting his chariot wheel, which had sunk and stuck in the mud in the field of battle. O worthless man, sole cause of our destruction. The whole world has condemned your act when by sorcery you made it appear as if the sun had set. You made Jayadratha, the Sindhu king, believe that the day was over and he was past danger. Thus he was slain when he was off his guard. Thus did Duryodhan pour his denunciation against Krishna, and then, exhausted by the pain of his wounds and the violence of his rage, he fell prostrate again. Son of Gandhari, said Krishna. Now Krishna is telling, son of Gandhari. Oh my God. Why do you let your anger add to the pain of your last moments? Why do you let your anger add to the pain of your last moments? It is your own misdeeds that have brought about your end. Do not attribute it to me. Bhishma and Drona had to die on account of your sins. So also was so also were you the cause of the death of Karna and others. Need I recount all the wrongs that you were guilty of against the sons of Pandu? What punishment can be too severe for the great outrage which you inflicted on Draupadi? The animosities and passions that resulted from your misdeeds cannot be made ground for condemning others. All the deceptions and lapses you charge us with you charge us with were forced on us by reason of your wicked conduct. You have paid off on the battlefield the debt incurred by your greed. But you are dying the death of a brave man. You will go to the happy region reserved for Kshatriya who lay down their lives on the field of battle. Krishna, I go to Swarg with my friends and relatives, but you and your friends will live on earth to suffer, said the stubborn Duryodhan. I studied the Vedas. I have given gifts ordained by law, and I have reigned supreme over all sea great earth. While I lived, I stood upon the humbled heads of foe. All human joys, such joys as even the gods cannot despise and kings sigh for in vain. The very pinnacle of power were mine. Dying now, such death as warrior deemed the crown of Kshatriya's life. I go to meet in heaven my friends and brothers gone before, eager to welcome me. Who is more blessed, I or you, who doomed to linger here, mourning for slaughtered friends in desolate homes? Find the long sword trump, but ashes in your mouth, said Duryodhan, and the gods showered flowers down on dying warrior, and the Gandharvs played music, and the sky was illuminated. Vasudeva and Pandavas felt small. There is truth, said Krishna, in what Duryodhan said. You could not have defeated him by fair means. This wicked man was invincible in battle. Ashwatthama. As we are on day 18, the voice, the composure, the state of mind of mine has been, changed. The way I started reading Mahabharata and the way I am reading it now, I am so much in calm state. This is how wisdom works. When you get some wisdom through the holy scriptures, it makes you calm and composed, because now You try to understand life through the eyes of Krishna. Of course, one has less intelligence, one cannot understand completely Krishna, but if one loves Krishna, Krishna helps them to uncover the right and wrong things. When Ashwatthama heard how Duryodhan lay mortally injured and learnt the details of the combat, his righteous anger swelled like the sea. The deception practiced by the Pandavas in order to bring about his father's end had been rankling in his mind. Now, when he learnt how Duryodhan had been stricken down mortally against all the rules of chivalry, he went to the spot where Duryodhan was lying and there took an oath that he would that night send the Pandavas to the abode of Yama. Duryodhan, who was in the last physical agony of departing life, was transported with the joy when he heard Ashwatthama take this oath. He immediately ordered those who stood nearby to install Ashwatthama as supreme commander of the army with due ceremony, and when that was over, said to him, all my hopes are in you. Duryodhana is still hoping something, and he is hoping now from Ashwatthama. It was sunset, and the forest was in utter darkness when, under a big banyan tree, Kripacharya, Kritavarma, and Ashwatthama halted for rest. They were so greatly fatigued that Kripacharya and Kritavarma fell fast asleep as soon as they lay down. But Ashwatthama did not get sleep, for the sorrows, indignation, and hatred burnt within him. He was listening to the noises that the nocturnal birds and prowling beasts began to make as the night advanced. He was turning over in his mind how to execute his promise to Duryodhan. On the branches of the banyan tree under which the three warriors were resting, hundreds of crows roosted. They were all quiet and asleep until a big owl came and began to attack the birds one after another and kill them. When Ashwatthama saw the nocturnal bird of prey tear the helpless crow, he got an idea. The crows that could not see at night flew round and round helplessly and fell victims to the owl that attacked them violently. These wicked Pandavas and the Panchala that killed my father and all their supporters can easily be killed by us if we surprise them when they are sleeping in their tents at night, even as this owl is attacking these blind crows. Thus can I avenge the deeds of foul play they have practiced on us. I am deeply indebted to this bird of prey from whom I have received the teaching. There is no offense in adopting plans to suit one's altered circumstances. There is no offense in adopting plans to suit one's altered circumstances. If we can lawfully attack on our enemy when his army is tired or when his forces are scattered, why then should we who have lost our enemies attack who have lost our armies attack our enemies when they are asleep? There can be nothing wrong in it. Indeed, it is only thus that we can punish and defeat these Pandavas who have achieved successes through foul play. We have no other course open. Ashwatthama made up his mind and he immediately woke up. Kripacharya and informed him of his plan. Kripacharya, who heard it, was astonished. This can never be, said he. It is wholly wrong to attack men who have retired to sleep. Has never been done before. It would be an unprecedented unprecedented crime against the laws of Kshatriya's conduct. Ashwatthama, for whom are we fighting? Okay, wait. Ashwatthama made up his mind and he immediately woke up Kripacharya and informed of his plan. Kripacharya, who heard it, was astonished. This can never be, said he. It is wholly wrong to attack men who have retired to sleep, has never been done before. It would have been an unprecedented crime against the laws of Kshatriya conduct. Ashwatthama, for whom are we fighting? The man for whose sake we joined in this war has been fatally wounded and his end has arrived. We have discharged our obligations most loyally. We fought our best for the greedy and wrong-headed Duryodhan, but we failed irretrievably. There is no purpose now in our continuing the fight, and it is folly to do so. Let us go to Dhritarashtra and the faultless Gandhari and place ourselves at their disposal. Let us take counsel of wise Vidura also. They will tell us what lies before us to do. So Kripacharya is now trying to make understand Ashwatthama that your plans are not right. One should not attack someone who is retired. One should not attack men who have retired to sleep. And he and he is advising Ashwatthama to go to Dhritarashtra and faultless Gandhari and take counsel of wise Vidura. They will tell us what lies before us to do. When Kripacharya spoke thus, Ashwatthama's grief and indignation increased and he spoke bitterly. Everyone feels sure that what he thinks is the only right and proper thing to do. One's understanding naturally limits one's vision. These Pandavas have been guilty of foulest conduct. They killed my noble and trustful father through a lie. They have killed Duryodhan against the laws of chivalry. I have no doubt in my mind that what I propose to do is quite proper vengeance for all these foul deeds. It is only if I carry out this plan that I can possibly repay my debt to my king and to my father. I have decided on it, and I do not propose to alter my plan. I am going tonight to the tents where they are sleeping, having cast off their armor, and there I will kill the Pandavas and Drishtadyumna while they are asleep. Kripacharya was deeply grieved to hear Ashwatthama speak thus. You have attained a great name among men, he pleaded. Your spotless character will by this be blemished, even like a milk white cloth be spattered with blood. Never could it be right to kill sleeping men. Desist from this. Sir, why are you talking? What are you talking? These Pandavas butchered my father when he had thrown away all his weapons and had sat down in the prayer. These men have breached the embankment of Dharma and released the flood, and not a drop of Dharma is now left. Karna, who was on the ground putting right the wheel of chariot, was murdered by these lawless rascals. Bhima has killed Duryodhan with a blow below the navel. What dharma has been left for us to follow? The Pandavas have once for all destroyed the wall of dharma. Why should we make research into law and chivalry when dealing with these ruffians who have attained successes by destroying both? If by killing the sleeping Panchalas who butchered my great father, I may be doomed to rebirth in the body of a foul bird or of a wriggling worm, I do not care, I seek such birth. Saying this, and without waiting for an answer, Ashwatthama proceeded to harness his horses and his great chariot ready to start. When he was about to leave Kripacharya and Kritavama cried, "Stop! What are you resolved upon doing, Ashwatthama? We cannot approve of it, but neither can we desert you in your desperate enterprise. The path you are bent on treading, we shall also follow. The sin you are resolved upon, let us share also." So they went along with him. Thus does evil grow. One transgression begets the next, and thus evil grows from evil, submerging righteousness. Evil flourishes on retaliation. They reached the Pandavas' camp. Drishtadyumna had doffed his armor and was plunged in deep slumber in his tent. Ashwatthama leaped on the sleeping warrior, and before he could put himself into a posture of defense, cruelly kicked him to death. They reached the Pandavas' camp. Drishtadyumna had doffed his armor and was plunged in deep slumber in his tent. Ashwatthama leaped on the sleeping warrior, and before he could put himself into a posture of defense, cruelly kicked him to death. So Ashwatthama killed Drishtadyumna while he was sleeping. The same process was relentlessly repeated until all the Panchalas and all the sons of Draupadi were killed one by one when they were plunged in sleep in their tents. After having done this deed, the like of which had never before been considered possibly among Kshatriyas, Kripacharya, Kritavarma, and Ashwatthama came out of the tents and set fire to camp. When the fire spread, the sleeping soldiers were awakened and fled hither and thither in confusion, even like the crows on the banyan tree under which they had rested in the forest, and they were mercilessly slaughtered by Ashwatthama. "We have done our duty," said Dronacharya's son. "Let us go and give the glad news to Duryodhan. If we can reach him before he expires, let him die, please." The three of them accordingly hurried to Duryodhan. Hare Krishna. Okay, my dear friends, we are stopping here now, and let us chant the holy name of Hare Krishna for a few times. Let's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namah Shivaya. Okay, my dear friends, we are stopping here today and see you tomorrow on day 19. I hope you all are reading along with me, and I am very sorry for my reading mistakes or my mistakes or whatever you feel, some kind of mistakes I am doing. So I am very sorry for that, and I hope that our heart sets itself in peace, and mind also, like we should have peace in us. When we have peace, we don't react on the situations and suffering, we just go through them calmly. Hare Krishna.